and welcome to another My Little Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Bree. I'm here with my father, Gary.
Hello.
My mother, Shelly.
Hi there.
And my brother, Bryson.
Hello.
We are brought to you today through the internet.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Yeah, so let's see, our t-shirt design of the week last week was the tractor one that we did.
Yeah.
The family country
yes.
and my tractor one, which was I had a lot of fun making that one. So I've been waiting several weeks for them to finish their, I guess they were really quick done with their tractor, but I've been waiting for them to be finished so that I could do a little tractor design. It's a lot of fun. We've had such a warm welcome for the cartoon, or not the cartoon, but the coloring pages as well, which has just been, I'm just so happy to see people enjoying them.
It's good.
Coloring with them. I know.
By the way, if you're here now today and listening to this, you should just pause, download the coloring thing, and color while.
Yes, we had
Color while you're listening.
They
were going to be doing that.
So enjoy coloring while we're talking.
Yeah.
Fun. Good luck with it. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully
That'd be
you
awesome.
share it with us. Maybe, I don't know. We'd love to see it, but no pressure if you don't want to. Okay. So let's see. I figured we'll start with the new chicken video that we did. We had done a goat one, and we had talked about the second half of that, which was the chicken one. We were going to do it all in one video, but that would have been like a 15-minute video. That would have been so much new footage to put together in a week. It's not even funny. So.
We couldn't have pulled that off. We realized it halfway through.
Yeah.
A
We're like,
couple weeks
oh my
ago.
gosh, we gotta make this into 2 videos. It's too much.
Yeah.
But we did end up doing the goats or the chickens
On
the
Wednesday
next
Wednesday
one.
nights, yeah.
Yeah, so that Wednesday
Instead
video
of a
was there.
recap that day. I kind of like doing those new ones. They're kind of fun to do some
Yeah.
new ones in there too.
When we have the bandwidth, it's fun to throw them together because sometimes we just don't have.
Yeah.
We're working on big projects, and that's the idea of the recap, But
Yeah, I think Shay's going to try to pull together for us a new one on Wednesday. She's going to be like, she made jeans. I think she made jeans from scratch.
Cool.
Wow.
She's like, Mom, they're so stiff. And so I had to tell her, Gary, remember the old...
Oh, 501s, button downs.
Yeah, you had to buy them in the hardware store.
Yep.
And you had to buy them I think it was like 2 sizes bigger than what
Yep.
you wore.
2 in the length. You bought them 2 sizes and 1 in the waist.
Okay, yeah. And then they were so stiff. And you'd wear them, and then of course you'd wash them before you wore them because they had to shrink down. And then, just in time they would get softer and softer, and they become your favorite jeans.
It's because they'd last forever, too. Just that
But
one
you
pair.
bought them really stiff. They were very stiff when you
Yep.
first bought them. Folded up, you can picture them on shelves, folded up in the hardware store, over by the Dickies,
Yep.
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
Sorry.
So
Not that. Yeah, and they still make the 501s, so they're still out there.
I don't. Do they sell them like that anymore?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not
Oh.
sure. I think you could still get them in the...
I feel like
The
the
old
jeans that the
material.
Wranglers
Oh,
was
that's
the one
cool.
that we grew up on. We'd go to we'd have to go to a special store to get the Wranglers.
cowboy
at the
store.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd get those, and I always hated breaking them in because they were so stiff. I remember that being so stiff. But they'd like adhere. It's like a pair of shoes where they'd like fit your shape real good, and they were just so comfortable after. Yeah. But they took work, love, and dedication to get to that point.
Now, what was her solution then to the jean problem?
Well, I think she was looking online, and she discovered something like, I believe it was soak them in vinegar and then throw them in the dryer. So I think she was trying some of those methods to kind of soften them down.
Acid washing, kind of an idea.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Let's go and beat them against a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
perfect.
That's good, Gary. See, you got all these ideas.
I do. And then sell it for $1,000.
After they get a few holes in them.
A leg.
Yeah, you got to have holes in them, yeah.
Yeah.
Holes.
So yeah, that's the upcoming weekly, not weekly peak.
It'll be our Wednesday
video. It won't be a recap. It'll
We
probably
decided
be
the only rule for Wednesday is that it's single subject.
Yeah.
So it could be a recap, it could be a new video, it could be a full version, right? Anything single subject.
Single subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that out on YouTube, and we do have folks that like only seeing one subject. So we figure, we have we're a group here, so we could cater to both of those,
Yeah, and the only reason that we started out the weekly peak I don't know, 2-3 years back when we started. I'm not sure how long it's been going. Is because I
So memorable, huh?
is that
Seems like forever.
it just I love doing transitions, and it always bugged me how you could watch a show on TV, whether it was a sitcom or whether it was like a they don't really do how-tos, but they're kind of like maybe like reality antiques or different type of shows like that. They always bounce around, and it always bugged me that I couldn't figure out for the longest time how to do that. And I was determined, and I thought it would be fun to bounce around. And so there were times in the beginning, just for a challenge, we would move the show 20 transitions to 20 different platforms, back and forth and back and forth. Now we limit it to about 10 or 11 actually movements back and forth to things. But I don't know
kind of nicer.
if it's how it works, but that's kind of the reason we started doing that.
Yeah, I think that your transitions have just gotten really fun over the years too. They've just gotten so fun. I like what you do to move us back and forth. Is like I'm following it, as a viewer and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing a lot of it now too. I'm not doing it all
well,
anymore.
yeah, you have bestowed us with eye knowledge as
well,
so we can help out. But
the thing with video too is it's just a never-ending learning experience, isn't it? I mean, I feel like I got so much more to learn and so much more to want to do, and that's what makes it fun.
There's new ways to do it that haven't been thought up that might be better, and it's like there's always places to improve on the original subject. It's kind of fun how that works. So
it's really cool.
So that's kind of the weekly peak, is more the show, and then single subjects are so fun too. Mm-hmm. So it's like. You get your whole boat full when you're.
You still have to transition in a single subject too.
Oh,
it's
because you're gonna move. You might move locations. Like we might go from the house. Like for example, we go from the house to the chicken coop, or the house to the place where the goats stay. Like there's places that you have to go back and forth.
Right, and Bryson got up there and did some drone shots. Those are fresh and new drone shots that you got. I thought you did a really good job getting the coop in there real good.
I love the drone stuff. I've really been enjoying that. I've watched a lot of YouTubers do it too out there and putting their stuff together, and I love just seeing things from the air. It's just a fun perspective,
different perspective, and it really helps. It's just neat.
I think that's true probably of any shot too. When you're doing creative shots, you never want to do them right from your eye, because that's the one we always see. Mm-hmm. So that's a trick to getting unique shots too, is just putting the camera where your eye couldn't be, or where it normally isn't. And the drone obviously is a clear one doing it that way.
Well, unless you can fly.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
I feel like any object, like even a table, could be made interesting if it's from another angle, because it's like, I've seen a million tables, but whoa, I've never seen a table from that angle,
Yeah,
like
super close, or from the floor up, or just
different shots.
Underneath the table where you see the legs going up, but you can see all the legs in the bottom of the table.
Yeah, trying to create interesting
would be kind of neat
perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's fun. I've been caught. Okay, sorry, something on the desk grabbed me. Anyway, okay, so we had a wealth of knowledge that were posted down below both videos, the goat and the chicken, and I figured we had a really great one. I would like to preface this comment by saying I struggle so much with hard boiling the eggs that we collect fresh. And the reason is they're fresh and they don't peel very nicely. They stick, and I gave up. I knew that if the egg gets older, it's easier to peel. I know that, but
we end up just making them scrambled sandwiches instead of egg salad sandwiches, scrambled eggs, because it's just so hard to peel those eggs when they're fresh.
So Lauren MCW says, for perfect, easy to peel boiled eggs, put enough water in the pan to cover the eggs, and get that boiling before you put the eggs in. I put them in slowly, 1 egg at a time. Lower them in with a slotted spoon. Set a timer for 12 to 13 minutes and let them boil. It'll be fine if some crack and ooze out. They'll still peel easily. When the time is up, pour off the boiling water and fill it with cool tap water. As soon as they're cool enough to handle, break each shell before peeling and use your thumb to make a network of cracks all over the egg. Doesn't matter how fresh they are or whether they're room temperature or right out of the refrigerator. They'll come out perfectly. Something about immersion into boiling water causes the egg to pull away from the shell.
Oh, we're trying that.
Interesting.
Who gave us that comment?
Lauren MCW.
Lauren, thank you. We are
No,
going to try that one.
That's actually kind of interesting because what they do commercially to peel a lot of eggs at a time, their machines, they run them from normal eggs. They quickly submerge them in hot water to boil them, and then they go back up, and then they have like this really cool machine that like peels them, but they immediately like cool them after they're boiled, and then they go up and.
Yeah, it sounded
so that
like too.
maybe
It's that
helps separate the shell from the egg. Then is that the idea?
Yeah, it's if we
Like
go
from
off
what
of
she's
Lauren's
saying?
comment too that it's the egg and then right into the boiling that breaks that seal.
It's
Is that
cold
what she's saying?
What I'm reading here? Yeah,
Okay,
something about
Interesting.
good one.
I'm really excited to try that. I use hard-boiled eggs for everything, don't we? We just use it. We have eggs, so we try to find ways to use them. Hard boiling them is one of those ways. Egg salad, potato salad. We do lots with salad.
We do.
So, Mom, did you have some comments from the chicken?
Oh yeah, I was going to say, Bill Nalder is the number one comment with 18 thumbs up. He says, this was an exemplary tutorial indeed.
That was good.
And there's a couple replies to that. Design Doctor says, best comment award. And Kevin K says, yeah, that's going to be a T-shirt hook this Friday night's episode. Which wasn't, but it was a good idea.
Though. It would have been if we had put eggs in the weekly
Yes, there
peak.
was no eggs in our weekly peak, but
There
One of
might
these
be
days.
this weekly peak with boiled eggs. Trying out that comment.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
We have so much footage. Did we
We
not
do.
have so much
We have
footage
so
for this
much
weekly
footage.
peak?
we did, and we have some, some
man.
stuff that we'll be
We need to
using
pull stuff
this
out.
week. I guess, but we got here. The thing is that we really would like to wrap up the door, but here's the deal: it's like we found out we needed more of that epoxy. So, Bree and Gary put a bunch of epoxy in there, but it didn't fill it all up. So we used up all the epoxy that we have, and then. Then you guys ran down to the hardware store and got
more.
another, and it was like over $100, and it hardly gave us anything.
Hardly anything. It was
And online,
silly.
I can spend that much and get. I think I spent just a little more than that, and I got 4 gallons. So,
oh my goodness,
it's
that
just-
was like
yeah,
4
that was
times
ridiculous.
As much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane.
Well, I don't even think that at the hardware store was a gallon.
I don't think it was.
So anyway, it's just ridiculous
It
the
was
cost.
ridiculous.
So if you notice, the shipping is taking a little slower right now in life.
I know.
No.
Of so many things on
I've ordered
back
stuff
order.
months ago.
Yeah, poor Bryson. He's
Fine.
well. Mine is like a few weeks, and I'm like, where's it at? It's usually here the next day. We get spoiled,
Yeah.
We
So, okay. Before I move on to the weekly peek in the door and all that fun jazz, did you have anything more to add for the chicken one, Mom?
Yes, I like this one. Nola Brown says, if your chickens can't get out of the hen house for whatever reason, try tying a head of cabbage to a rafter. It should be in the range of the chickens to reach, and they'll pack. Well, I think it means pack. They'll be pecking at the cabbage. Exercise and food. Win-win. That sounds fun.
That does sound fun. I like that. I read that comment, and I was trying to picture where we would set the head of cabbage to get them to effectively jump over the thing, and I pictured it swaying there, and it made me smile. I can imagine them really having fun with that, Just exercise for your chicken. Just do it anyway.
And Design Doctor says, that is so interesting. We feed ours sweet feed and broken corn too. We thought we were the only ones who do that. And they also give them oyster shells, which we do occasionally as well too. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I had so many oyster shells or different stuff to keep the eggs hardened. So many different suggestions
Yeah, we
and different
found,
recipes.
We found like during like the winter, if you feed them whole corn, like the oils inside of it actually can keep them laying through the winter.
Now, there was a chicken lady on YouTube, and I wish I could
Who
remember her name
suggested
because
that,
I would
and I
like to
was
give
trying
her
to-
credit for that because she's the one we learned that from.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I
With
will
some-
say, too, one of the things that Bryson discovered, well, you talk about that, the DE.
Yeah, that was another thing that lady also suggested.
Oh, did you get that from her, too?
Yeah, I believe I also got that from her.
Okay.
But she said that if your eggs are streaky, like they're not coming out, they're not clean, your chickens actually have worms when that happens.
Whoa.
So what you could do is you can give them like DE, and it'll get rid of that and clean up the eggs real nice.
It is amazing how that works.
It is.
You get a lot of suggestions for DE, like for goat dewormers and dog dewormers, and I think that those are questionable whether they work or not. But the chickens, we had
works really
100% luck with
Might be just
DE
how
in
their
our chickens.
systems work. They just are different.
And how did you feed that to them? I can't
I
remember.
think I just sprinkled it on their food when we put the bowl out there with the food in. I just sprinkled it on top.
Yeah, and you didn't do it like day after day after day. You did it for
I
a
just
day
did
or
it
two,
for a little
or
while, and this eggs all cleaned up.
yeah.
That also
Probably
you gotta
just
have
do
a
it until the eggs
clean.
are clean, maybe, or something.
Yeah, you also have to have a clean laying bed too. Obviously, otherwise
Yeah,
the egg will
otherwise-
get dirty from hitting the ground instead of
Yeah, and
too.
chickens are not. They're not like pigs, where they
keep their bedding
go to
clean.
the bathroom. They're messy in that way. So
Yeah,
they're not very clean. They just
it's
the
only.
chickens. Yeah.
But yeah,
I wish I could remember the person that said this, but somebody had mentioned that they thought they had heard that chickens were very messy animals, and I guess that is somewhat true. Like, we don't let them free range in our courtyard specifically because they're messy and you don't want to step on something when you're going out. That's
and the
just a
dogs
bummer.
might eat them. Let's be real.
Okay, well, yeah.
yeah, it's
But
dogs.
the
And the
first before
pig,
the
who
dogs,
knows?
that was what we had decided.
right.
We needed them. We loved having them close to us, but it just was a little bit too much for us.
Yeah, they
They
are
bring in the
pooping
flies.
machines.
Yeah, so we do have them out in an area, and we watch our step when we go to feed them because it's just the way
Yeah,
it
and
goes.
we are
Yeah.
fortunate in a way living in the desert like this too, because it keeps our ground very clean. We do rake,
yeah.
but we don't have to do it. I would guess we just don't do it too much. You know, we might do that just a few times a year.
Yeah, and I was finding that putting
Stays pretty
those
clean usually,
those
too.
wood chips on just it made everything cleaner, and I really am loving that, and I think the
Yeah.
animals are loving that too. You know.
And also
Yeah,
to
and-
the room. There's lots of room in there too. So there's
Yeah, when the rains come, we never have to rake. The
Yeah.
rains just because it's the way our ground works. It just washes everything away. But it's beautiful. Pens are always beautiful.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to
great
rake
way.
out that hen house because that's, you put those things in and it just seems like the ground keeps getting higher
it
and
keeps
higher.
getting higher.
because it builds up.
But I'm sure we can use that now with the combination of the wood chips and the.
It's the
And
only
the-
place that doesn't
yeah.
get rain is in the chicken coop.
Yeah, that's what we have to clean out. If
Yeah.
we got to clean
If we have
out,
to clean
that's the
anything, it's
area.
the chicken
And,
coop
and
usually.
if we're there, then we're gonna rake everything because we're there, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really need it. So
The hen
Yeah.
house.
yeah, the hen house. Yeah. So okay, are we done with the chickens? Are we ready to move on to the weekly brief?
Well, there. Oh, hey!
Oh,
Here's a guy that says the redneck prepper. He says diatomaceous earth (DE) in their feed and apple cider vinegar in the water. So he mentioned that too.
What does-
And apple cider vinegar in the water. I bet that helps keep the water clean. And apple cider vinegar is also so
Yeah.
good for them. We could try that too. Thank you,
Yeah.
redneck prepper. That's a
love
cool
that.
name.
The only thing that we discovered is citric. I don't know, like if this is different or not, but like, isn't it so? So apple cider is acidic, right? So isn't citric acid also acidic too?
That was a weird deal. I'm not sure what was up with that.
I don't know what you guys are referring
the
to.
citric acid.
Because we've had some chickens die from the
Oh,
citric acid
oh.
before.
I think I'm
Oh,
not
do we
sure
have
what
to
that
tell
was.
that story?
was a
I don't
lot.
want to. It's sad.
Okay.
It's very
The
sad.
moral of the story is don't feed your chickens citric acid.
I'll tell the story though because we have to tell the story, don't
Okay.
we?
Yeah, I feel
Oh,
like we
boy.
do.
Okay.
It's a good lesson learned.
So I think I'd made a cake and
Brownies.
brownies. Okay, brownies, and I had gone and in the makeshift pantry that we had, and I grabbed what I thought was sugar, and I didn't have it labeled, and it was actually citric acid. I had gotten from. I was probably going to do some fermented thing, or who knows what I was going to do with that. Oh, I think I had got it to making cheese, which I don't know if we ever got around to that. But anyway, so I made them, and when we taste, of course, they tasted horrible, obviously. And so I was like, well, I had all this chocolate food type stuff, and I figure, citric acid is not. I didn't think was harmful.
No, chickens can eat anything. That's what.
Yeah,
It was like an
I couldn't
orange
give
or
it to the
something, like it
dogs
wouldn't
because the dog it's chocolate, right? So I
Yeah.
thought, well, at least somebody can eat it. That's one thing about here. No food goes to waste. So I put it out for the chickens, and we woke up that next morning, and almost every one of our chickens were dead. And I noticed that it was all the top chickens, and the weakest chickens, or the ones on the bottom, I knew were on the bottom of the pecking order, were alive. And so
They didn't eat
I
as much,
figured it was
probably.
food. I thought, it took us a while, but then we narrowed it down to,
Realized.
oh my goodness,
We're
I
like,
just
why
killed
are
all our
like,
chickens.
they were just all gone. It was,
That was so
it
bad.
It
so
was so
tragic.
sad. Oh my gosh.
It was really tragic.
Never had such a sad ordeal with chickens. I was,
You know, if I just have thrown it out, but no.
well, no, you don't You don't think.
You
You,
don't-
think you can
you-
feed a chicken anything?
Well,
Like,
citric
it's a
acid is supposed to
chicken.
be edible. I mean,
Yeah,
right?
we eat it. We don't have any issues.
Yeah.
Probably not in that
Probably
dosage, though.
not in the dosage. Yeah, that's true.
I guess anything
So.
in too much dosage is bad for you.
Yeah, and for chickens, it's deadly.
And normally they would know not to eat it too, but I guess it was masked with the
With the chocolate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Sorry. Well, we say it so that you don't have to go through
Yeah,
that.
don't do this.
Yeah.
Ugh,
What not to
so
do.
sad.
That was a what not to do. So, all right. I don't want to move us forward.
But that was
until
way
we're
more
ready.
significant than like a little apple cider in the water. So I could see the apple cider being healthy in the water, just like a little bit of it.
Yeah. We're so we're scared now. We
Yeah,
hear the
we're
word acid or citric or anything or
Anything that has a very, very low pH, we
Maybe
get
just
concerned
put it-
about. No.
Put it on the cabbage, like a salad.
Just sprinkle it on there.
Salad dressing.
Yeah, it's like a salad dressing. Just put your apple cider vinegar on.
All right. So we had a lot of fun putting that door together. I know we mentioned a little bit about the epoxy, having a little bit of trouble getting enough epoxy to get on those doors, at least around here. We have ordered that, and hopefully that'll be here this week so we can finish that up, because I'm really excited to get those doors hung and in the kitchen. But we did have a question here from Pocket Change. Just wondering...
Sorry, I had to bring up the comments.
Just wondering why you didn't just paint them and then cover it with clear epoxy. Same effect and simpler. I'm not sure that it would have been the same effect, because we noticed with the flowers that we did in the kitchen that, and I don't know if that's just because it's fabric. I don't know on that one. But we noticed when those flowers got sopped, like the color got drained from them as soon as the epoxy hit it. We noticed. So we started out with doing real flowers. That didn't work out so well. We tried the fake ones, the fabric flowers, and those did better. But they weren't. Just for some reason, I don't know what it was, light or sopping or whatever. Now that being said, I do think that we should try at some point the painting and then the epoxy over, because I do think that definitely could work. But we decided to go with the epoxy mostly because we'd already bought everything by the time we had that idea to do the painting. And I was like, well, we might as well. And I am so glad that we did, because the colored epoxy has so much texture and color to it. It's insane. And I definitely feel like the work, even though it was a lot of work to get it going and get it in there, the payoff is there for sure.
Yeah, and it has the little sparkly things in it too, and then you got all those different depths that the sparkly little
Yeah.
things are. Very pretty.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll get to see how the epoxy does over time, because I know that sometimes they yellow, or I don't know how the color will change over time. We'll try to keep them out of direct sunlight, because we know it does do that. And we have them in an area in the kitchen. Hopefully that won't be an issue, but we'll get to see how it holds up over time. But I'm so pleased with it so far. I cannot wait to get them in the kitchen.
Yeah, and we have we talked to Garen and Ellie yesterday too, that we're hoping to get they agreed to it, but of course, but we're hoping to get azalea over here, because before we get those other layers of epoxy in there, we thought, on the flower we should try to get an imprint of her little foot, maybe her little hand, I'm not sure,
Something.
on there. So we're gonna get a little,
cool.
what do you think, like an ink pad to do that,
ink
Gary?
pad
Or
or something.
Something.
yeah, and then try to, that would be so cute.
Yeah, and I really want to get us all to sign the other door. So everybody that participated in making them, I would love. So we have.
It's
signage
really
online
your artwork, Brie.
That's
You're the
your
one who
art.
needs to sign,
You're the one who
not
needs to
us. We
sign it.
just, yeah,
Viva, help us.
we're just We just help
You're the
fulfill
main
your
squeaky
dream.
dude. Without you,
Yeah,
none
it's
of it
your
would have gone
artwork,
anywhere.
Bree. Your artwork, hon.
It's your
Okay,
artwork.
I just feel weird because we all did it. It was a group effort. I appreciate y'all helping me reach that dream. But
Yeah.
okay, well, anyway, I do want to get a date on there at least of it on there.
Yeah.
So we can
Okay.
be like, oh yeah, it was back then. Because I remember me and Ellie, we cobbed or didn't cob it. We stuccoed the inside of my house, and we both put an imprint of our hands. But
That's right.
we didn't say whose hand was whose and what the year was. And I regret that because I don't know. It's in my closet, and I will never paint over it. It's amazing. But so, yeah, really want to get the year
Years
in there.
and years down the road,
We-
they're gonna open that closet, look, and they're like, "Oh, someone's hands."
Cool.
Whose hands and what year?
Now, I was slacking on my job. Somebody did recommend on that video too that we do a size chart of Azalea when she starts, walking and stuff.
Yes.
On the back of the door.
Yes.
I love that idea. Too.
Yep.
That's
And
a
Gareth
cool
said
idea.
for sure he's doing that. I loves that idea.
I love it. And actually, there's probably enough room. You could do all the grandkids on the back of that door
Yeah.
if you wanted
Doors
to.
are big enough.
Hey, I want to say too, Bree, though, backing up here, do you know that we have on video you and Ellie putting your handprints on there? If we could find that old video,
There'd be a date on
I
it.
can tell you the date because we would have done it probably
Around that time.
around that time. You could at least have the month
I
and
should
year.
put the year is all I care about. I don't care about the month.
Yeah, I can
But-
get you the year for sure.
Okay.
And I can
Maybe
even
You know-
we can probably even see who did which hand.
If somebody wants to
Yeah.
go back and has been watching previous episodes,
Yeah, it would be
Give
on
us a
Bree's
note.
building.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't do those in parts, so I think we did that in just
It was all in one chunk, but it will still be
Oh, that's
around.
right.
It'll be around the time.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I'm just curious where the timeline it fits.
if I remember right too, we did it that year, and then in January, February is where we put it out. So you could just back up one year, and
Yeah,
that's
it's kind
it.
of funny. We actually have it all recorded.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the first earth bag
So-
build I think we did, didn't we? For a video.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We're going in through it right now and giving it a little bit of a facelift.
did
Pretty
we
excited about
did
that.
we
Maybe
do
we can
like
do that
half
little-
of your building and then come over and do the living room area and then go back or something like that?
I think we did Breeze all in one, and Garen's we did a one video for the exterior and one video for the interior.
Okay.
I think that's
Okay.
how that worked.
Okay.
And then somewhere in between there, we also did the main house,
Family room.
living room,
Yeah,
family
we
room.
did the main house at the same time we did
Same.
mine.
But we didn't record that.
No, we didn't.
Uh-uh. I
We
don't
didn't
think we
record the main
recorded that.
house one.
Uh-uh.
We only recorded mine.
Yeah, because that was the main one we were working
Yeah,
on.
that was the one. Oh, back in the old days.
Well, Virginia Lewis had the top comment from Friday's video with 28 thumbs up. She says, hats off to the neighbor who is a mechanic and him sharing his knowledge. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. What was his
neat.
name? I think it was Bill.
Bill.
Bill?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about him, because I never met him because I just saw the footage when you guys brought it back. And what I thought was so interesting is he totally reminded me of, we've talked about this guy before, the guy, the neighbor of Tim Allen in that tool show,
Yeah, what
Home
was his
Improvement.
name?
Is it Home Improvement?
Yeah.
And he would come over and he, that whole thing
Pick
that
up
we,
the fence.
yes,
Yeah.
it was him. It was him.
Uh-huh.
And we couldn't even ever see his face because of that hat.
Yeah.
It was like, it was so funny. I was laughing.
Gosh, what is the guy's name in the show though? That's
Oh,
bothering me
I'd
that I
say
can't remember it
Edward
now.
Or, he had like a
Thought it started with
longer
an
name,
N.
didn't he? Like a
Say like
Maynard.
something.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
remember.
remember.
I don't remember.
That guy though inspired the Weekly Peak logo.
Yes,
of the
he
peeking over the
did.
fence. That was the idea of the
Yes,
Weekly Peak.
he did, and we've talked about that before. But then Bill showed up,
But
and
then
he
Bill-
was him, and he was the neighbor.
And he was then. Oh my gosh! I'm now seeing how
Yeah,
big
but
of a
he
deal
didn't
that
peek
was.
over the fence. He came
He
over
came
and
right in there.
engaged.
Exactly.
Perfect.
There's nothing like those older guys too that come up with those mechanics and the
Been around a
wealth
long
of
time.
knowledge they have.
It's crazy.
Especially I don't know how much tractor knowledge he has, but I'm assuming it was quite a bit. And
Yeah.
how valuable that would be for
Oh,
Garen
my
to
goodness.
learn from him. So that
Yeah.
was really special
Really
and nice
cool.
of him.
Yeah, really,
It's
really neat to see them all working together too. He's getting in there, helping them push stuff around and stuff too.
Like,
It's
and
awesome.
I was talking with him too, and he goes, the whole bottom half of that tractor looks to be nothing but a giant transmission that's all ran off of hydraulics. And I'm just sitting there going, my brother decided he was just going to take this thing apart and fix it. I mean, like, that sounds so complicated.
It
And
sounds
yet
very Garen.
He did it, and it runs, and it works. It's crazy. It's very cool.
I have to say, too, Windswept Farm says, man, Garen and Ellie are so incredible. I just love how they jump in and fix a tractor. And you know what I have to say, too? Thank you for that comment. But I have to say, too, when I was looking at the video, I noticed that when they're putting the transmission back together, you see Ellie there. Do you see her?
Yeah.
She was actually just, I mean, you know how she is. She just jumps in there. But I was like, yeah,
You go, girl. You go, girl.
I love that. I just love that.
Yeah. And she's awesome.
Yeah,
she's
she
she's
is.
the boss mama. She gets out
She's
there.
awesome. Yeah.
It's
It's
very
really
cool.
cool.
Very cool. I have a question here, but it is it's an off-topic question that came in on the Weekly Peak, and I don't want to, unless we want to just keep rocking and rolling. We had one. Her name is Bree, so I was like,
To dial
in
that's
that.
why.
So then I was like, Anyway, Bree asked, if y'all don't mind me asking, why do Bree and Bryson still live at home with the parents? I'm not judging. I'm just honestly curious. And I think this is just it's our home too. You know, we own it too. You know, it's all of our property, and we contribute. And I can't imagine living elsewhere. I just have to keep coming back here. It makes no sense to do that. You know, I could, but why?
It's also the same place we work, too.
Yeah,
So it's just
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
live and work here. And we all get along great, so it works. I mean, Mom and Dad, you're our business partners. You know what I mean? Like, we get along great.
There's plenty of space. It's not like you're pushing anybody out to live here too, you know. So it's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, we have our own.
Probably would be different if we were all under the same roof. But you
In an
guys
apartment?
have your own places. And
Yeah.
Or a small 3-bedroom home, it'd be tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little harder.
Yeah, not as much space. I feel like it's my space that I go to every night, you know?
Mhm.
It
And
is.
it's different. It's like you help build it, and you're contributing to the whole overall, you know, business and everything too. So I don't feel like I'm at home leeching off my parents. You know what I mean? I'm equally
yeah,
paying for
no.
everything.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
same.
I would want it that way. I want it that way. Otherwise, I
Yeah, we
wouldn't.
charge the kids
Otherwise
double,
it would-
so we just want to make sure.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's all fair. But
Yeah, you guys go out and buy tons of groceries, and
oh my gosh,
Bryson's always online finding something fun. You know, the sprouted bread. You got mailing, and your new thing
I was
is
so
that
excited. I got that on an auto list, so it sends us it automatically.
automatically charges Bryson for the bread
Oh,
once
we
a
love that
month.
bread.
A bunch of sprouted bread,
Yeah.
and then you found a new syrup too, an agave.
Oh yeah, the agave.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get away from sugars, just because we're just trying this new thing of getting away from like the cane sugar and stuff, and trying alternatives. And agave syrup is one of those alternatives, and we were able to find it online, which I found out it's cheaper at Walmart than it is on Amazon. But whatever, that's typically not the case. But for whatever reason, for
Yeah.
agave, it was. But yeah, no. So we ordered that again. It's still on back order because
yeah. Oh my gosh, we're gonna be waiting through our packages when
One
they all
day-
finally come.
one day we're gonna walk outside and there's gonna be packages stacked all the way to the sky of all the stuff we ordered. Just like
It's just taking forever.
there's gonna
to
be
get
like
here.
4 trucks rolling in with all this stuff.
I think Wednesday is gonna be our party package day. Because I'm looking at the ship stuff. I'm like, oh, Wednesday. Oh, it's Wednesday, my dudes.
I ordered a new case and for my phone, and because the other one, you know, we're just changing out and stuff, and it literally had a month, 1 month
Yeah.
delivery
On it.
on it, and I go,
Crazy.
what? Come
Insane.
on, no way. Where's
I
it gotta
ordered
go?
a-
1 month to get here.
I ordered about a month back. I ordered a little auto leveling for my 3D printer. It's a little piece if it's on there. It's, still is yet to show up. I'm sure it's coming.
right.
It just you know. it's just
Isn't
what-
that
right
the
now,
company
for
that you
whatever
ordered it
reason.
from? All Custom makes it, so they might have
Yeah.
gotten some delays.
Yeah. So
for
there's
whatever
also
reason.
that too.
Yeah.
So.
So
It's weird though. You order stuff and you just like wait forever,
Wait.
and you get weird because normally if you have to wait this long for a package, you better get looking into your package and make sure you're not getting ripped off or something. So it's a little weird right now.
And Amazon's like, no, you don't understand.
No, we are.
Just
We're
be
working on
patient.
it.
We got it. We're like, okay, you do you. I'll wait. But we're excited when they finally come.
It's gonna be exciting.
Okay. I don't know what it is with me and shoes, but I buy a lot of them, and I've customized a lot of them too because I get excited. I bought a new pair for this summer. I wanted a pair of working shoes that were light, and I think I might have gotten them too light, perhaps because they're got holes all over the place. But Crocs makes is it Crocs? I don't know. Is it that?
So, yeah.
They make a tennis shoe, and it just looks so comfy. I was like, I would love to work in those. So I have a pair of those coming. I'm really excited.
Yeah, they look cute.
In the back of my
if
mind,
they ever ship out, it'll be
yeah,
good.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, can I customize these? Could I Posca pen these?
The good thing about things not shipping out though is you stop buying.
Yeah,
True.
just like, oh, it's not gonna come. We might as well wait on that.
As a matter of fact, we started looking directly to the companies, and we found companies like for the bread, you can go directly to the company. I guess we kind of already were doing that with that one, but I found a couple other places that products we buy that we normally go through, Amazon or eBay. I was able to go right directly to the company, and bam, we got those right away.
Oh, right away. Those came in.
It's kind of
and
nice
they were
too.
just as good a price, if not
yeah.
better.
If not better in some
Yeah.
cases. Yeah.
It's kind of it's nice.
I would love to do that for everything. And the only thing I don't like with a lot of those sites is you have to put in your credit card information. You can't go through PayPal. I just feel safer if I go through PayPal.
You know what?
But
I would
a lot
love?
of them offer it, so it's like,
You know what someone should build? A website that's a partnership website. So if you have a website or shop, you link to it in a way, and it's just a search engine that just goes out and searches online shops all over the world to find all the different products for you and brings them into one central area. So it's not
they
like
have that.
So it's not like Amazon is one company, right, that sells certain products. You actually link out to already companies that are already there.
I think
partner
that does
together.
exist, and that actually was what was before Amazon. That's what you would do is company would combine them all, check prices and that kind of stuff.
that
But
would be
then I don't
neat.
know. It seems like Amazon came
we
in
must
and
have
then
gone
we
away
just
from
kinda,
it. I can't go. I can go. I think that's out there, but I couldn't give you a site for it.
Because that would be kind of neat.
It's out there.
And you're not under all one hood.
The one
you know?
thing that comes to mind is Groupon. Where they check for all the coupons, but
Oh yeah, and then they have honey too.
I've used that
Kinda
several
interesting.
times. I'll look and be like such and such promo code, and then I get 10% off. I'm like, yay! Even if it's like 2 or 5% off, I'm like, yay!
Honey is supposed to do that. It's a web browser add-on thing.
Something.
Oh, I think you're talking about something.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, they might sponsor us one day. We don't want to give them a plug too early.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you mean? I was talking about honey, the sweetener.
Yeah.
we
Okay.
use
Yeah.
in our,
Now Francie, Mom, who gave you, who sent you those
Yes, did she
glasses,
respond?
she said, "Oh my gosh, you are so welcome. I have my cheaters in parentheses all over the house. Glad they work for you. God bless. Take care and stay safe."
Oh, yes. Thank you again. I'm actually wearing them right now. I'm wearing I think these are the red ones. I can't tell what color they are when I pull them off my face, but they could be purple too. I'm not sure. But yeah. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Tammy for him says a bug in the flower. How perfect is that?
I know. I was going through. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that it's dry. I'll be honest. I did not think it was going to dry. Our test piece didn't dry, and so I was like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, it's dry. And then I look over there, and there's not one, but 2 bugs that have made their way onto just the
just
flower.
all
The other
over
one was
it.
fine. The flower. I was like, I can't believe this. But
There's
then I was
one
like, it's
on
kind of
the
fitting. So.
leaf. But they actually look like one. This one spider looks like it's coming down from the main spider on like a web
Ooh.
to set on the leaf.
Spiders
And
on.
then there's another one that's on the other leaf on the other side, and they just look natural. Like that's what's on plants.
Yeah. We'll just call it a bug. Let's
Well,
not
you know what-
specify it's a
you know what we
spider. 'cause
should have
that
done?
seems weird.
You know what we should have done? We should have done a cutter bee, cutting a section out of the.
Oh.
Out of the.
Got really fancy. Because, all the sections, that wasn't hard enough. We should have added more detail.
Yes. Go big or go home.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
for that.
Will Garmer then responds, if it was a mosquito, then maybe 65 million years from now, somebody someone will be able to use it to clone Bree.
Yeah.
It's my secret plan. Shh.
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
Oh, and Brad Payne says Instaflossa or Instaflossal. Fossil. So sorry, I get this. Insta-fossil. Sorry, I couldn't get that out.
Oh my goodness, we do. We have
great.
bug fossils on the azalea plant to truly be a memorial to the.
You could probably, now that I think about it, you could take like pieces of paper, cover them in resin. Wonder if that would keep for a really long time.
The flowers did not. I'm like, okay, this worked, this didn't, but maybe there's ways too. You know, I think you can coat them and stuff. I think the things. I'm just so curious to see like how it functions over time. You know, how it ages.
I sure hope it doesn't
We just
turn
won't know.
Yellow.
I hope not either.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is that we close the door and the whole thing falls on the floor. That's why I was like,
Falls out of
what?
the wood.
Well, you know what? We have it on that little cabinet door with the flowers, though, and that's holding up
That
fine.
doesn't
So.
fall. Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
yeah, but we're gonna do this in several pours, Mom.
So-
it could come off in sheets. Dunk,
Something.
dunk, dunk.
Oh. Something that I've always wanted to do though is build my own kind of plexiglass, but with resin. Be expensive, but it would be cool.
I don't know if it really would be that expensive. If you could do a
It doesn't have
custom,
to be that thick.
yeah, but if you could do a custom, you know, like tank
Yeah.
in one pour, I feel like that would be way more expensive than the resin you would purchase.
Is
I
that
just
what
don't
they
even
make fish tanks out of when you see those online? Is that made out of that?
I think they go like with acrylic and glass and they glue them together. I think it's
Oh.
how they do it.
Hmm.
But
You know, we're gonna need a piece of glass over the air conditioner.
We could try, and we could do a little
Color.
color for you.
Oh.
We could put
Oh,
a
like
little.
tinted a little.
Well, we
Oh,
could tint
no.
it, or
a glass, like what Bree's saying. You do a little sheet. You do the stuff you just did on the door, like what Bree's saying. Yeah, Bree's shaking her head.
Oh,
Yep,
like
yep.
a
we do a
mural,
design?
hummingbird.
kind of
A couple of maybe three
Are
little
you game
hummingbirds.
for
a
that
stained
again?
glass concept.
That's
I
a lot
think
of
that-
work.
Is it a lot? Because I'm not thinking a huge piece like
I'm
what we
not
just
thinking a
did.
huge piece either.
Okay, so Pops, this is what I'm thinking then.
Yeah.
Build a wood square, right? Like
Right.
we did before.
Form.
With sheet either maybe the
I think you put it either on
plastic-coated
wax or
wood.
parchment
What's that-
or
what's
parchment
that called?
paper.
What's that called?
That does it. That's all you need.
The
Oh, okay.
what's it called?
I think.
Milmac or melamine?
The melamine,
Yeah,
the white
melamine.
wood kind of,
Yeah.
so that
Oh,
it doesn't
okay.
stick.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we put like an oil or something. We find
Well,
something that doesn't.
Bree was just saying a wax
Wax
paper
or parchment. I don't know which one. I
we
just
do
know it's one of those.
wax down below, or do wax paper and then nail a square frame on top of that, or somehow stick a square frame on top of that wood, and then we do the layer of epoxy. We could do a little test on parchment paper to make sure it doesn't stick.
I could probably
Even
find
if it
the
does, we could
video.
sand it off.
I was watching one
Polish
video
it.
where a gal was doing it, and she was doing some sort of a stained glass something with the epoxy, and I can't remember if it was parchment or wax, but she had one of those, and she said that it doesn't adhere to the adhere to the
Interesting.
epoxy, so she could
Okay.
do whatever she wanted on it.
My guess is it's parchment because remember we learned from the baking videos that wax does not work like parchment, and you could put in the oven. You could put parchment, but not
Okay,
wax.
but here's a twist to that.
yeah.
For cookies, you do parchment. For cakes, you do wax.
Oh well.
Huh.
It doesn't
Depends on what
help.
you're cooking.
It's confusing.
Depends on what you're cooking.
Oh my
I know. I
goodness.
did a cake today.
Yes, you did.
Did
Coffee
a coffee cake.
See, this is what happens when the kids control what's being made. We have
Yeah, I'm
cake
gaining weight.
and ice cream for no reason.
Just,
All I know is I'm gaining weight. That's
You're
all
healthy.
I know.
We made it out of extremely healthy stuff, Dad.
we did.
Yeah, but
extremely, there's no sugar cane.
still
in it.
more food to
Sugarcane
eat.
sugar,
And hey,
so
I
nothing
stopped
in that.
making a lot of cookies. So
you did
know.
slow down the cookies.
There's sprouted
did.
flour. Jeez. What
we
else?
do. We make sure
Homemade
that it's good
coffee.
stuff, the
I
best
was
we
putting
can
in
be.
I mean, like, it's like healthy. It's a healthy
It
cake.
still has calories.
and sushi. We've been doing sushi.
Oh yeah,
we
have
did
been doing
Chinese food for your
Oh.
birthday.
that. That was fun.
That was so fun.
All this
Oh, it's
delicious
so
food.
good.
When you
Karen
have
and
a
Ellie came over,
cool-
made it.
Thing is, when you
Mm.
have a nice kitchen, it is fun to cook.
It's so
That's
fun.
true.
If you have a
so
good
fun.
kitchen, it's fun to cook. You want to
know.
cook in it.
Bryson's been having fun filling it up too. He got was that
I
a
did
stick
a
mixer?
stick blender.
Stick blender,
Yeah.
okay.
Needs a little handheld blender you hold. Because, like, I don't like pulling the blender out. It's heavy, and I just don't like maintaining that giant thing. But the stick blender, I can
so
just pull
heavy.
out of a drawer and just done, rinse, clean it off real
It's
fast,
so
and it's all
cool.
done. It was really nice.
It's
to
so
mix
cool.
little things like chocolate milk. I like making a lot of chocolate milk, and that's really easy to make.
It was
chocolate milk
so fun and clean. I was concerned like you're gonna put something spinning inside of a glass.
It's
Just
not gonna be
sounds
clean.
like a mess waiting to happen, but actually it wasn't.
If you pull it out quick, it will.
Yeah.
You'll get that effect you want.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want that effect, I'm
Messy
sure we can
effect?
make it work.
I don't think it's a
overfill.
desired
Fill
effect,
the glass
but
up to be top full. Stick it in there and mix it up. Put it on full blast. Make sure that the cup is nice and small, and then pick it up from the bottom. Don't let it stick on the bottom.
seems
Go all the way
oddly
up close to the
specific.
top, and it will mix very well.
seems like
It
a
will
lot
also
of detail
spread
there.
very well on your counter.
Well, if you put your cake around it, maybe it'll fall on the cake.
Great way to ice a cake.
There you go.
That seems oddly specific, Bryson.
Make sure it's a really good liquid too.
Yeah.
Oh, I made mayonnaise with it. That's why I got it.
It was
too.
so good, the mayonnaise. I'm like, I don't know if we're ever gonna make mayonnaise again. Bryson made it. So
I
good.
really like it.
So good.
I like making everything from scratch as I possibly can. The only bummer is oil. It's not something you can make from scratch very easily.
Where
What,
we
you
live.
don't want to get some olives and stomp on them and make some. I don't know how you make oil, but
Let's move to
It'd be
Italy.
kind of fun, but I get
Lots of olive trees there.
I'll have
toss
to-
some olives in.
We could plant an
Grapes
olive
while we're
tree
at it,
and
might
in
as well.
50 years have olives, assuming the
Would
olive
an
tree
olive
grows.
tree grow here, May?
Olive trees grow here.
There you go, Bri.
Whoa.
What's an olive?
What's an olive?
What's an olive?
You know, it's those
Olive
green
oil?
things with the pits
Come
in
on,
it. And
really?
they turn black.
Oh.
No, they're good. Don't
You
get
said you wanted oil. We're trying to help you
Hungry.
out.
Okay.
I know. We're
Well,
just,
Okay, so then
We're
I need
solving
to
the
figure
problem.
out what temps that grows in.
Yep.
What zone? What can
Okay,
it
we
handle?
we just need a greenhouse that we can specifically put to the exact temps we want, and it just always stays that way. Perfectly
except we
temperature
might have several
controlled
different
room.
plants and they take different temperatures.
Well, we'll
Not
different
exactly.
zones.
you know how yeah,
Break it
different
up in
zones.
zones.
Yeah, different zones, or maybe just at different times of the day.
No, I
The
mean,
plants are happy. Like
I
we
mean,
have
like-
to, they have
but
to
the-
share a little.
Plants have such a wide range. You keep it at like 75 at all times, or 60. No, 60 probably too cold. 75 at all times. Any plant will grow in there pretty much.
I don't know, but I walked out to your aquaponics today to get some water for my indoor plants. And it was so crystal clear out there. I could not
Okay.
believe it.
So you can actually see the bottom of the tank now, which
Yeah.
is absolutely crazy. So what I did is I did a little bit of modification to it. I took the solids filter and I looked online to see how people make pond filters for their ponds and stuff. And they use 55-gallon drums, and there's certain layers they do of certain materials in there to get it to filter. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do that then. So I went out and I converted my solids filter into an actual filter. And it's supposed to be you're supposed to be able to like drain it on the bottom to clean it out. But I'm not really sure if that's going to work too well. So it might be like a yearly thing that we tear that thing out and like clean it and then put it back in or something
Well, I know
like
you
that.
took
but
we had that bag of
I don't know.
activated charcoal, so you
I
added
threw that in there too, yeah. It's got activated charcoal. It's got different layers. There's a trampoline cover in there. There was metal things on the trampoline cover that I had to cut off, but there's because you don't want metal in your filter. Extra
Yeah.
iron, I'm sure that's probably not good. Anyway, but yeah, there's like different layers, and then there's sponge on top. I actually filmed it.
Oh, okay.
So I
we
think
can
it
get
probably
that
will.
in.
I don't know how well it's filmed. I don't know if that will be something that will work.
Probably
or
not this week because I think
Audio is not the best. It was
now
all on my phone.
this
so-
week's going to be you made a part for Garen, and Garen's going to give us an
Yes.
update. So we'll be doing that
I'm
3D
so
printed
interested
part
to
that
see
you
how that's gonna
did, and
work.
right. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what's slated for this week. And I don't know if we're going to get to the doors or not because it depends on if that stuff comes.
Yeah, I
the
don't
mail
know.
or
It'll
not.
and that is up in the air.
There's
Yeah.
not much left to do. We pour that in,
Yeah.
a little bit more sanding, and then I stain and attach the
That's what we're all waiting for. That's the drum
brackets,
roll.
and we're ready to go.
On
Waiting
that-
for that one.
Oh, we need handles.
Oh,
yeah.
handles?
Yeah,
Oh, what kind of handles are we going to put on?
I don't know.
We should cast
Horseshoes.
hummingbird.
Yeah, we
Cast
should
them,
cast 'em.
Bryson.
Cast them.
Do a
horseshoes.
hummingbird on
So-
the flower one and a flower on the hummingbird one.
Okay, so-
Bryson.
Oh boy, sculpt it. We probably have to sculpt it.
We'd have to
Darn
sculpt
it, I don't have that drawing tablet anymore.
Well, you
We
have
have
one.
ours.
That's
got-
okay. I can
yeah.
use someone
Two
else's
others.
We have
maybe
several drawing
temporarily.
pads.
to
You
do
can
that.
use a Huey on
Bryson,
because you
that
don't
would be
need
so
color.
cool.
So with that, I got my printer working now too. So printing that was not an issue.
Okay.
And
you've got
That's
the
a
green
forge.
sand.
and I've got the green sand. I've got
Yeah.
everything to do it.
Okay.
The thing that I'm wondering is though on it is I was gonna ask if any of you are familiar enough with resin to know if we were to take and like because right now the resin's just sitting there drying, and usually you want it to get a little tacky before you put the next layer on so they stick.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to really have that option because we had to order it again because we didn't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
So can we scrape the resin?
You
And,
sand it. We'll sand it.
But sand it or actually groove it, and then when we put the clear layer on, will that groove kind of disappear?
I don't want to take a chance.
They sand
I'm
them. I think we'll
concerned
So
probably
you
that there would
sand it and then
be-
you put
Yeah,
the
I
next.
think that-
I'm
isn't that
scared
how-
even to do the sanding. So I don't know if I
Well,
want to scrape it.
my thinking
It'll be
is
okay if you look at like the bathroom. We did the epoxy on the counter, and we sanded that between, and it does not
It
show
doesn't
up.
show.
It clears
and
out.
have you ever
Yeah,
seen
be
clear
okay.
Orbeez in water? How they disappear, but when you pull them out, you can see them. So I think it's the same concept behind like if you rough up a surface and then you put a liquid on top of that surface, that roughed up surface kind of disappears. It's like a rock, a polished rock. When you're polishing rocks, when they dry out, they don't look as beautiful as they were in water because all that rough surface kind of disappears. That's why I was thinking scraping it would give us the adhesion that we want.
I think
but
that
not-
we don't. I think that would be
But you're
more
right.
than
I don't
is
think we want to
necessary,
chance
though.
that.
Well,
'Cause that would be a
I
bummer to
agree.
have
I think I like
scrapes
your theory on that, and I'm
going
tracking.
on
But
there.
I think that just the sanding will work, and
Okay.
Since that's
Be
kind of been
easy.
tried and
Or-
true, I
Okay.
think already.
it
Oh,
is.
I'm really excited
Yeah.
about these handles.
Me too.
Sorry to bring us
yeah.
back to that subject.
I
but
love
I'm-
it. Dad does
I'm excited
the
about
the
that.
woodworking. Garen and all of you three do the rail. Then it's just like everybody has their own little touch in
and
it. It's
Azalea's
special.
little foot will be on it.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited, you guys.
Okay, I want to say Donald McBaird said Papa Gary was right again. Those stems inside the flowers are called pistils.
Yay! Confirmed. Dad is a genius.
Confirmed.
Oh, those years of university. All that learning.
I would like to thank the Academy.
Random, what do you always say? Random things that you remember.
Yes, I have random things. My head's filled with all kinds of things nobody needs.
We can never remember what we go to the store for, but if
Yeah.
you ask Gary a fact about
Something
flowers,
in the
he's
past.
got you covered.
Yeah. Dates won't remember your name.
Yeah,
won't
long-term
remember your
memory's pretty
birthday.
good. That's that short-term memory that I
Yeah.
suffer
Yeah.
on.
I'm the
So,
same
what's my
way.
name?
I
Oh, yeah.
don't
Okay,
know.
okay. I remember.
I'm so bad. I even forget my own birthday. Oh wait, you mean that's today?
Well, I did. Don't you remember? I
Oh,
woke
did you?
up. Yeah, I woke up and we spent half the day doing stuff, and I go, "Oh my gosh,
What?
it's my birthday!"
And everybody's like, oh, it's
It's
your
your
birthday.
birthday.
That's the way we are with everybody's. We like to celebrate it if we can remember.
Funny.
That's
We'll
how
start
it's
getting
nice when you
older
get
and-
somebody texting you. It's my birthday today. Oh, excellent!
Excellent.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
I don't know what I'd ever do if I lost my calendar on my phone because
Get-
it has birthdays spanning over years. Every time I've heard of a birthday of somebody's, I write it down on my phone.
Wow.
I've been doing it for
Ooh.
a couple years
I
now.
go to
So my-
Bryson for days
It's
now.
just I've got everything on there, including birthdays of people I don't really talk to much anymore. I don't know why, but yet I have their birthday down.
Just in case you might
just,
need it.
Just in case I might need it. Yeah,
That's great. I need to be
Speaking
doing
of
that.
memories and terms,
because I can't remember 'em,
Tim
yeah.
Venner says lifty arm thingies is equal to a loader.
Lifty arm thing.
You said that.
That's
on
what
the
we,
video.
when we were trying to figure out what the arms were on the loader.
Yeah.
It's like we put you on the
those lifty
spot.
arm
Throw the
thingies.
camera in your face. Speak. Oh,
Lifty arm thingies.
But I know what a pistol is.
that's right. But can you remember it tomorrow? That's what
No,
we want to know.
that's the
No.
deal.
No, it's just the moment. I last minute my brain saves me to be the hero, but
You know-
can't count on that.
It's like, do you really need to know the official names of something?
Not in our family.
You know, it's
I
like
feel so-
in some ways you can know about something, know what it is, and not know the official name for it.
It's kind of nice when you're trying to communicate with someone
But
else.
yes,
though.
but
Yeah,
if you're trying to
I know.
communicate, yeah,
so I have to
no,
I come up
you're
with,
right
with words
on
like
that.
when maybe we're trying to talk about a show, okay?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'll sum them up, and it could be a whole sentence that describes that person because I cannot remember their name. It's one. But
Yeah,
usually the person laughs and knows what I'm talking about, and they'll know the name, and I'll be like, yes, I can confirm that's it. But
I get that panic when it's time to introduce my family when they're all meeting somebody for the first time and I have to introduce everybody.
You forget your
Oh,
family's
my gosh,
names.
I don't know who's who.
You forget your family's
I
names.
do. It's horrible.
I would get nervous if people ask me ages, and they will be like, "Oh, how old's your sister?" And I'll be like,
I have a sister.
You know, at some point you start getting old enough that you just don't pay attention
don't.
to your age. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Like one time someone asked me, and I was like, oh, I'm like 18 or whatever. And I thought about like, wait a minute, I'm not
You're not 18.
It's 2020 or whatever. And I'm like,
you're 21.
wait a minute, I was actually 21. I'm sorry about that. I like corrected it because I was like, I can't believe like I just told him.
Where'd those
wrong.
years go?
It takes
But
me
it's just,
a,
it's weird. You just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
it takes me a year to get used to my new age, and then by the time I'm finally used to the new age, I turn again. What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and it's important because people are asked now. We're at the age where if you hesitate on your age, out comes the license. Like you've got to know those things.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
You're like, it's not because I'm lying. It's just because I don't actually know.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of crazy though when you reach like an age like 21 or something.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
guys are
like,
so old
actually
too.
do-
It's
No,
amazing.
stop
you can
it.
walk into a store and get anything
Don't
in
be
there.
making fun of us.
Nothing is stopping you from getting anything in the store, and that is like such a good
Now,
feeling.
I have a reason.
Isn't it?
I have a reason to say I
You're
can't
not
remember.
aged, like
Why?
Because I'm old.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Oh,
See,
thanks, honey. You're good to me.
Sometimes you act older than you actually are too.
It's not true.
What is that? I don't know if
What
that's
is
a
that
compliment.
supposed to mean
only-
at this
it's
age?
only when I have to do
not you.
something.
I was just thinking, you know, sometimes people they seem a lot older than they actually are.
Okay.
Which
Lee
it
Kate-
actually means you're young, Dad. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, son.
I
See
don't
how
know
that
how
works?
that correlates to
You
being
act
younger.
older
but
than you actually are because you're younger.
Okay.
Okay. Lee,
he's trying to save it. It's not working out so well.
I have dug myself a hole.
Okay, Mom. What did you do?
okay, I was going to say that Lee Cater asks, what happened to your brother and his girlfriend's property they were building in the woods?
Oh.
Well, first of all, it's Garen and his wife Ellie,
Yeah.
and that property is still there, and we plan to go up, and
Yep,
it's
this summer.
kind of the family's property up there, and so we'll go up there and we'll do some more work to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get a floor in it.
Still
think.
interior
Yeah.
work that has to be done, I believe, on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're planning on doing it as a group project. We'll just go up and spend a week or whatever.
Finish it up,
You know,
yeah.
it'll be kind of one of those.
But Garen and Ellie, they got the bulk of it.
They got the bulk of it
done.
done. Now we
Which
just
is
got to
crazy.
kind of fill it out, which is perfectly fine. We're happy to do that.
And there's
So-
an outhouse now, so now it's not like
Oh,
you go up there, go out in the
I have-
bathroom in the woods.
In our
somewhere,
chair.
you know?
God.
Remember our
Guys.
chair we made?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
let's see if I can say this. I think it's Wild One Meister is his name. T-shirt idea revisited. I think Bree missed a clear opportunity with Route 66. Route ROOT 66. Huh? We did miss that opportunity.
We got to go back to Route 66 so we can bring it up
That is
again,
an
and I can do that
excellent
pun.
point.
I love it.
like a root of a plant root.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Hey.
this person just goes by D. So D says, need to do a project with everyone's footprints and the babies on the top. So that's a
Interesting.
different idea, but to do footprint all the way up? How would that work?
like
Oh, you could do them with
engraved
different
in the
colors, right? You put Dad's foot, color it. You could do this with Garen's and Ellie. This is what you want to do. So you
Okay.
put Garen's
I'm trying to
foot,
picture.
and you have it imprint, and then you fill it with the epoxy,
So there's a
colored.
layer.
Right.
Then after that dries, you have her
The next one,
Ellie
the next
put her
one, the next.
footprint, right, and draw a different color, and then the baby,
It'll create this 3D structure,
right?
and then you,
Yeah,
but
you
what would
draw
we
the
use that for?
names. You draw the names by the sides of the feet on
Okay,
that
so-
layer that the foot was laid on.
Here's my question. Can I get like wet clay, for example, and pour the epoxy inside of clay?
Yes.
Oh, you're
As a
thinking like a
form.
3D.
As a form, and then pull it out,
So he can stick his foot in the form.
and then attach them later, or just have them like 3 steps. Bing,
Well,
bing,
no,
bing.
it'd be kind of cool maybe to do pour just a flat sheet, put the form in it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's a foot form. It's the shape of a foot. And then it dries, and then pull that out, and then fill that with a colored epoxy, and then do the next layer. Something like
Right, I see what you're saying.
that. And then you have all these layers of epoxy at 3D, kind of a 3D effect.
Yes,
That's
very
what I was-
cool.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
like
I
that.
want to
Think
do
about
it
that
for the
one.
door. I think that'd be too much for the door.
I don't necessarily think it's.
I don't have enough
it's
room
not.
for the
They're
door.
not.
There's not
D
enough.
is not suggesting on the door, just saying doing a
Oh,
project like that.
Right,
Okay, so now
okay.
I've had it. I had this
like that, though.
thought on making pane glasses with this epoxy. Can we put Oh, let's see. That wouldn't work. Never mind.
If we do the clear epoxy though
It's
on that
fine.
window, we might have the sun ruin it. So,
But it would be a
whatever.
good test to see.
That window does not have any direct sun that hits it. It's on the back side where sun
Also,
would
speaking
never
of which,
hit it.
Okay.
there is a wasp nest on that window as well, above it.
Oh, we'll have to
I
be
didn't
wary
get
of that.
Those
That's-
things
I just said something now.
are tough. And even I believe one of them moved into an old nest that was there.
Oh, not
so
good.
I don't know. I don't know if leaving the nest there is a good idea, but
No, getting stung is
you
always
know,
bad.
I am thinking about though if we could maybe seal those dead wasp in resin and attach them to the nest, and maybe it will scare other wasps away.
I was looking in your aquaponics tank, and there's like 10 or 15 wasps swimming around in there. So
Oh, it's a great wasp trap. I love it. They don't eat them though. They don't eat the wasp, and there's actually flies that try to land on the bubbles on the other side, and they fall in,
Oh.
and they don't eat the bubbles. I watch them. They grab the fly, they eat it, and they spit it back out, and they like
Oh.
back up, and they like. Ugh.
Okay, we'll have to do one.
Here's the thing. We sit here and we think we're coming up with all these ideas, but then you look through the comments and it's like
The ideas
they've
are
already.
there.
Everyone's had
Oh
these
my
ideas
goodness.
already.
nothing's new
Oh,
under the
God.
sun.
Goodness.
Don't,
Here's
don't
smart.
crush our hopes and dreams. We think we're
Oh.
genius. Just give us a
You know,
second.
great minds think alike.
That's
It just shows this.
Okay, so here's what Mark says. Oh wow, you should try this on glass sometime. It's gorgeous as is, but picture light shining through it. Right? He's just basically saying sort of the same thing with making a.
But on a sheet
piece
of glass, though.
Oh, we could do that
You
too.
take
on
an
a sheet of
existing
glass.
sheet of glass and you put the resin
You
on
just
it.
solved our problem, Mark.
That's what he's saying.
Nice. Nick of the time.
Right?
Nick of
'Cause would it attach to it or would it separate out?
I don't think so.
Like how? Would,
I think the resin
the
would
people
stick.
do them on glass.
and they attach to the glass or do they
Yeah, I've
slide
seen
off?
that.
I
I've
thought
seen
they
attachment
attached to
on
the
glass.
Attach.
glass.
Okay. Well then,
Well, it
there's
was a
your-
mirror.
Yeah, it was a mirror. That's right.
I
was
do
doing
want to
these
make a
flowers.
standalone
Do you know
glass.
what's
seen it on
though.
glass,
interesting
too, I
about
think.
that is you wouldn't have to do the whole thing with an epoxy then because you'd have the glass. You'd only have to do
Just
the
do
hummingbird.
the hummingbird. Ooh, and I can
Oh,
do that
that's
so
so
easy.
that'd be so much easier and a whole lot less epoxy.
Yeah.
And they're already going to be cutting a piece of glass anyway to go in that.
Oh, you know
area.
what would be really cool? Have you ever seen that crossed texture that they do in like old town video games and stuff? Do this with like their lights. They put an old cross texture
The
on
pane
it.
glass look.
That would be an epic texture to put on a pane glass, like as that texture on windows. That would be really cool, like on a fish tank window.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us this week. For the podcast, at least, we're gonna be coming at you on Wednesday with hopefully a new video. I think Shay has got that gene thing, and I think we're gonna make that into the Wednesday video. So we're making sure that we label them for what it is. So if it's new, then we put new. If it's recap, we put recap. We just try to make sure we say exactly what it is, so you know what you're getting in for when you click on it. And that'll be coming on Wednesday. And then of course we've got all kinds of fun stuff coming for the weekly. We're always doing something, and we always get excited to share every Friday. So we really appreciate that. This podcast is also on iTunes and Spotify. So if those are places that you listen to podcasts, just know that they're there as well. They go out at the same time these do. Sometimes a little earlier than these do, because it can take a little bit of time for these to upload sometimes. So anyway, we really appreciate you being a part of our family and being a part of the conversation, letting us respond. Is we'd love to do that, and hearing your input is just so cool. It makes everything
Invaluable.
better, so valuable. So thank
It's
you
very
for
valuable, yeah.
taking the time to share as well. We really, really appreciate that. So anyway, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us, and we'll catch you again on Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
All right, bye.
Bye.